This is a box for gambling, and it's been filled with everything from lottery tickets to Pokemon cards. And besides this box, the only other constant between Persona 5X and Deltarune is Hatsune Miku. In Deltarune, she voices Pink as well as sings her theme song, Cutie Mew Mew Magic. Then, in Persona 5X, she is released as the most broken support ever. So I played through both games, and every death in Deltarune Chapter 5 and every failed Miku pool in Persona 5X will result in a spin on the box of gambling. My goal is to have enough winnings through gambling by the end of this video for one of my dream Miku figures, or to not let the box run out. I'm going to show all my box of gambling pools at the end of the video in one big, massive compilation, so let's go ahead and just start with the Deltarune deaths. So Deltarune Chapter 5 is all about the festival, and fortunately for you guys, unfortunately for the box, I didn't play the weird route yet, so we're actually going to the Dark World. In Castle Town, I check up on all my favorite residents and check out the new additions that have been added, but most importantly, I deliver Gerson's Shadow Crystal. Sham tells us the 5th and final Shadow Crystal holder will topple easily, and there's no way he would lie to us, right? It took me a while to get to the new Dark World, so in summary, I spent the festival making Susie and Noelle have the best date possible while Chris had to sit in the cuck chair, and out of pure spite opened a Dark World. I got to witness Flowey take all the budget in his first entrance.
Why do I have a whole anime scene playing right in front of me?
While yes, over 80% of my deaths can be attributed to Hatsune Miku over here, this part is meant to include every single death I had in Deltarune Chapter 5, and the deaths start right here.
Seems like she does to me. Oh, we're 1v1ing? I'll spin. Is the whole world revolving, really? Okay, I need to play better. Okay, yeah, play better. Here. What the what? How does one? No, cool pose. I just have to survive this, and then I win. Oh my god, it's a Mega Flowey! Oh shit, I almost had it. Oh.
Okay, one death before the secret boss isn't too bad. It would really suck if I had another death before Pink completely off screen. Pretty sure it was to one of Yellow's giant guns though. So after almost dying a third time to the worst parkour section since the Path of Pain, we finally make it to Pink, the secret boss. You know how earlier in Chapter 5, Seth goes on that whole spiel about which attack did the most damage to you during Aqua's fight? I thought about doing something similar to that here, but with how many of Mew Mew's attacks killed me. Okay, so we got the death counter right here. Let me just add some flair. Perfect. Path of Pain music. Now let us sit solemnly as I recount the many, many times how Pink slayed me. On my first attempt, the Phase 2 box attack is what finally killed me. But I only died once to it. Three more deaths come from Miku's bomb attacks, all in either Phase 1 or 2 of the boss fight. 4 more deaths come from Pink's concert move. 2 from Phase 3 and 2 from Phase 2. 2 more deaths come from Pink's cat spam attack. And finally, one last death to the winding tunnel in Phase 3. And not counting the glitches of death, that means that we have 3 deaths in Phase 1, 4 deaths in Phase 2, and 4 deaths in Phase 3, for a total of 13 total deaths throughout Deltarune so far. But enough of that Path of Pain sad stuff. Flowery is a hype-ass fight, and there's only a few more deaths to go to until we get to the Persona spins. I wouldn't classify Flowery as an easy fight, but he's definitely nowhere close to the difficulty spike that is Pink. But I'm really bad at Phase 2 with green and orange, so I take my first L. My next death comes from Phase 3 with orange and blue. I just was not able to keep up with all the stuff going on screen. And my final death was sadly in Flowey's semi-final phase.
Yeah, like fuck am I supposed to do?
But my next attempt, we made it all the way to the end. And when he turned into this giant rainbow kinda gay Super Saiyan, I kicked his ass.
But no Ludicrous is stronger because he had... Good enough.
And that was every single death in Deltarune Chapter 5 for me. I really enjoyed this chapter, I thought it was super great, but that means we have to spend 16 times on the box of gambling. But before we get to that, our count isn't yet done. We still have to play through Persona 5 and get Hatsune Miku, right? So let's go ahead and pick up in Persona 5X so we can get to everybody's favorite part. Gambling! Let me give a little refresher, since we're done with the Deltarune portion of this video, and we moved on to the Persona 5 portion of this video, that means the rules are going to change a little bit. So, we already beat Miku in Deltarune, so now we have to go deal with Miku in Persona 5X. And by doing that, we are going to spin until we get Hatsune Miku. I'm going to be spinning on the banner that has 110 pulls for a guaranteed chance. And in between spins, I'm going to be using footage from when I was just getting meta jewels for more spins to explain some concepts about Persona 5X for those who might be unfamiliar with it. Since not every Deltarune fan has played Persona 5X, not every Persona 5 fan has played Deltarune. Got it? Alright. So in case you're not a Persona 5X player, let me explain to you how pools work in this game. On a character banner, it will either cost you 10 of these tickets or 1,500 of these things called meta jewels, which you can get in a billion different ways. You can buy them with both in-game and IRL currency, you can get them through gameplay, and you get them rewarded to you every once in a while when Atlas decides that they like you. But you might be wondering, is Miku actually worth it? Yes. Let's go through the character trial, shall we? Rather than give you the long, dialogue-heavy section I had to go through, I'm just going to give you the straight-up how to play Hatsune Miku. And no surprise, it all revolves around music. Through player input or automatically when it's her turn, she will change the song, which changes what bonuses you get on each of her support moves. Feel the Beat increases damage for the entire party, and Clear Sound increases attack for the entire party. We'll get to that third one in a second. These moves give certain status effects that when mixed with other moves can do things from boosting your damage to healing the party. It's really just... she has everything. She's Miku. Each time you use a move under a different song, you get a charge. Once you get all 3 charges, you get to use Showstopper, which gives you 8 free turns. I don't have to tell you that in a turn-based combat game, going from 4 turns before your enemy acts to 12 is absolutely insane. Like, it takes a bit of setup, but if you manage to pull this move off, you basically just get free, it's a free win almost. Unless you are the worst Persona player, this move, if you manage to pull it off, it's over for the enemy. That's 12 straight turns. I still can't believe that. They honestly never nerf Hatsune Miku. Keep her like this all the time. But at the same time, 12 free turns? It's ludicrous, but I love it. Miku for the win. To absolutely no one's surprise, we won that. Got 30 jewels in my pocket. Then, to no one's surprise, they made Miku canon in Persona, which for power scalers must be a dream, because all of the Persona characters scale to like 1A and other wacky shit, so that means Miku scales there now. Yeah, I didn't know she was broken until I looked it up. They also gave her a rhythm game, which is just so perfect for this. And on hard, some of these are actually impossible. I cannot beat them. Pulling on the 110 guaranteed banner because there's no way I'm going to spend 80 pulls and not get it. We failed the first one, failed the second one, and on our third pull, we fail again. Fourth pull, we get a double 4-star but no Miku. Fifth pull is another fail. You guessed it, 6th pull is another fail. 7th pull, another fail. But I did get the 160 pull extra award, so you know I had to pull the other 5-star character that I didn't have yet. On the random anniversary gift set, I pulled my 3rd Manami. You know, I used to really want this character, and now I just keep getting her. Finally, on our 8th and final pull of the night, we fail. Apparently I did a 9th spin, which also failed, but that wasn't on camera. So we'll just say +1 for the end of the video. While playing, I was able to get Futaba, my favorite Phantom Thief. She's so cool. I love her so much. I found the lottery ticket for that 9th pull we did, and it was actually one we won, so hell yeah. Now, I did lose the footage of the 10th pull right before getting Miku, so I'm going to include a few extra spins. Now that is the art of the deal, and yes... Wait. We got her, ladies and gentlemen. Seeing her in your character select, it's so nice to see she has her own unique one, and I personally think it looks cool. Also, I did not know this was based off of Persona 4 dancing at all, and when I found that out, I was really excited. Atlas, make her a secret boss in Persona 4 Revival, and my soul is yours. Alright, so we had 16 deaths in Deltarune, plus 11 spins in Persona 5X, plus the extra 7 I threw in for all the missing clips. So, that gives us an even 34 spins on the box of gambling. But before we get to that, for those who might be interested, I am going to show you what a maxed out Miku can do to a boss in this game. So let's get to it. Also, here is Miku running around in 3D, in case you needed that in your life. On account of me being severely behind in the story, I honestly really need to catch up on that. Shadow Miyazawa will be our victim today. We used this setup as Morgana being our healer, Yusuke being our cheese, Justin and Caroline being literally just the one-shot gods, me being a little bit of everything, and Miku being Miku. It's safe to say we're ready. Alright, sorry I had to whisper for that last segment. I was recording in the middle of the night. Anyway, because I have Caroline awoken, I believe, or it might be her weapon, 2 Masters 1 activates as soon as it's her turn, which does half of his health bar right off the bat. A basic attack sends him into phase 2. So I use Keen Eye on Yusuke, so Imagination will proc on the next turn, which basically lets us skip this entire phase. Since both Miyazawa and Yusuke have a counter, they get into a never-ending standoff, which usually ends with Yusuke killing him. But we actually end with like the smallest amount of health, so I let Caroline and Justine finish the job, and we enter the actual boss fight. Nothing really happened this first phase. The strategy just boils down to buffing Caroline and Justine and getting more of Miku's track so that we can do the 12-turn destroy move. But even so, just look at the highlight damage. Caroline and Justine could probably solo. We pop a second Feel the Beat, and that gives us 2/3 of the way to the end. With the exception of Feel the Beat while Heaven is playing, Miku cannot really heal, so you have to have someone like Morgana or Minami in order to keep the team alive during boss fights. Anyway, one demonic decree from Alice takes him out of this phase. In fear, he decides to hide from us. But we use this as a buff phase, and let's just say when he gets out, he's not going to be very happy to see us. Now we have all 3 tracks, and we just have to wait 4 more turns so that we can use, you know, the big move. So we buff, we guard, and the time comes. Upon activating Showstopper, we get 8 extra turns added on, as well as all of our buffs reapplied. We boost our attack even further by using Caroline and Justine's Showtime, which we then use to immediately get the other seal we need to proc 2 Masters 1, which proceeds to just completely take him out of this phase and move us on to the next one. And look at how many turns we still have left. I use Keen Eye on Yusuke, so we get Imagination, which also gives us the shield, which lets us use the stronger variant since he can attack and take away our shield. And I need you to see just how much damage Caroline and Justine's baton pass is doing. It is one-shotting the cameras. So after breaking the second camera, the punishment really begins, since he's now weakened and dizzied. A single Mask of Mischief and Innocence is doing damn near half his health. Never mind, that was like 70%. Morgana finishes him off, and we enter the final phase, and we have 3 turns left to beat him. So a Demonic Decree and 1 more buff from Miku leads us back to Caroline and Justine, which with a Mask of Luck and Loss activates 2 Masters 1 one final time. And because of some bullshit where each time you use it your almighty damage gets buffed, as well as all the regular buffs we have, it just nukes the rest of his health bar, and Miyazawa is no more. And with him gone, the only thing left to do is to give you your 34 deserved spins. Since this was all streamed, I'm going to do it in order of Deltarune, Persona, and then the 7 bonus spins. After shaking up the Deltarune buck, our first pull was a Naruto card pack, where we pulled Secrets of the Mangekyo Sharingan, The Beast Within, Roar and Howl, Itachi Uchiha Tsukuyomi, Return of Morning Mist, Garo vs. Kimimaro, Child Tsunade, and Nawaki. Now we move on to everyone's favorite Pokemon card packs. First pull was a Steel Energy, Ampharos, then I pulled a Bergmite, then I pulled a Remoraid, and then Roxy's Performance, a Delibird, Garbodor, Quillfish, then lastly Esper, Frogadier, and Weedle. Now starts the long string of lottery tickets, so I'm going to have a little winnings here in the bottom left, and I'll take my 3 most valuable cards and see how much they're worth, and then we'll get a final count. So I lose these first 3 tickets and we're still at $0. So I take the box for yet another spin and we ended up with a $3 lottery ticket, a $1 lottery ticket, and a Dragon Ball card pack. Starting with the Dragon Ball card pack, we open an SR Bojack. I fix the lighting and pull a Cell's Kamehameha Wave, and here's well lit Bojack. We pull a Cell Games announcement. We pull a Turles. It's out of frame, but we pull a Zangia from the Bojack movie. We pull Son Gohan Youth. I don't know why I started holding it up to my phone light instead of the actual camera, but that's Cell's egg. A barely in frame Android 8. We pull a Son Goku. We pull an adult Gohan. We pull Doro Dabo from the Lord Slug movie. And our final card is a Gawasu. And as a little cherry on top, we won both of the lottery tickets, but we broke even, so. Next up is 4 $1 tickets and 2 $2 tickets. We then proceed to lose all 4 of the $1 tickets and 1 of the $2 tickets. But surely, America's 250th anniversary, this ticket will not fail me. The ticket then failed me. We fail gamble number 15, but we do 4 more and we win $52 and lose 2 tickets. Then lose gamble 20. I end up losing gamble 21 and gamble 22, but for the final 12, we won 2 out of 3 Crazy Doughs for a total of $7, won $5 on one $50 blast, but lost the other 4 tickets, and lost all 4 Lucky 7s. And looking at all the cards I pulled, if you take the 3 most expensive ones, they are Ampharos goes for about 2, Bojack goes for about 1, and Itachi goes from anywhere from 1 to 5. So highballing and saying $8 add to 69, we have 77. Which still means we are nowhere near affording any Miku. And that is the end of this video. I have 2 announcements I'd like to make. First of all, thank you all so much for the overwhelming support on my channel and on a few of my other socials. It really does mean the most to me, and I do love growing this community. I've always wanted to make a place where people can just be free to express themselves and talk about their interests and meet other people like-minded to them. And growing that here with you guys has just been a blast. Anyway, second announcement. We are over 100 on YouTube and almost at 100 on Instagram. So, if we can reach similar numbers on my TikTok and my Twitch, then I have a special surprise planned for you guys. Besides that, I have a vote on my community tab and on Instagram for what you guys would like to see streamed after this. And with that, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. This is a box for gambling.